Hello there, Mr. Xavier. Welcome to the Sentence Guide course, and very well done for submitting your first essays. Congratulations for getting this far as well. I do wish you all the best of luck in your IELTS exam. My name's Andrew. I'm part of the team here at the IELTSpodcast.com website with Ben and the others. The whole aim of this course is to make sure that you see repeatedly all errors, big, small, that you make. Not only that, but with each video we can give you a little bit more vocabulary and a few suggestions on things like structure. Don't worry too much about picking up every single error in every single video. The reason we do 8 essays is to make sure that it just kind of sinks into your brain naturally over time. So don't worry too much about it. Let's just go through it. So starting with, these days, the frequency, I would say, the frequency of conversation between parents and children. Let's not talk only about one, because the son is just the boy, so that's only half of the children in the world. So I don't know why we're not talking about the other half, but there is another half. So these days, the frequency of conversation between parents and children is lower than for the last generation. We just need to explain that relationship a little bit more. The frequency is lower than for the last generation. It is my belief that modern lifestyles have a direct influence on this matter. Modern lifestyles have a direct influence on this matter. That's because there isn't just one lifestyle, is there? Absolutely not. There are many different lifestyles. So it's my belief that modern lifestyles have a direct influence on this matter. Correct prepositions explain the relationships between things. This essay will discuss some issues using examples to demonstrate points and support arguments. Firstly, parents spend most of their time outside of the home due to work commitments. So there's an S on the end here because they are commitments at work. So plurals, we're already saying we need to pick up on there as well. Outside of the home due to work commitments. Moreover, the reason for this is not only long working hours, so all of these can be reduced to long working hours, comma, but also the high level of information requested by modern companies. So I would say the more challenging workload required by modern companies. This tells us a little bit more information. That these days, the workload of employees, of parents, is more challenging. If it's more challenging, it means it requires more of their time or more of their energy. So it backs up our point. It's relevant, it sticks to what we've already said. And this as well. Requested, it kind of makes sense, but required, it is needed, it is necessary. This says that it was asked for, whereas required says that it's needed. It speaks of necessity. So next sentence. For example, recent studies, you don't need the word done, you can say, recent studies by Harvard showed, or have shown, that this generation has 15% more responsibilities and activities, I'd say, than the previous one. And also, using ambiguous words like one, thing, or stuff is generally not recommended. So we could say that the current generation, or people these days, have 15% more responsibilities and activities than the previous generation. Furthermore, in the near future, comma, companies may enlarge workers, that would be workers multiple plural, so the apostrophe would be there. Workers apostrophe. Roster, to assist them in achieving their financial goals. Maybe. Just to give that a bit of expansion. Secondly, technology contributes to this lack of communication between family members. Good. In addition, parents, again, parents and children, we don't only refer to half of the population. Parents and children are using smartphones even whilst having their meals together. For instance, the level of internet access by phone has tripled in the last 3 years in Brazil. therefore the future generations might avoid. See, this feels underexpanded to me. So the example needs to have a bit more explanation in it. What does this actually mean? You need to, so we've talked about how smartphone use is increasing, but what we need to talk about is how that leads to decreased communication. How does smartphone use detract from family time? How does smartphone use take away from family time? What does it do? How does it do it? Because you say here, they will be extremely addicted to mobile phones. Now, when we're talking about the future, and we're talking about uncertainty, as you've done here with might, because you've essentially created a condition here, they may have to, and so you can't be certain here. So you could say, and they could become addicted to technology such as mobile phones. So we need a how here. How does this technology detract from family life? And here, don't speak so certainly, continue to use the conditional, and don't be so dramatic. They could become addicted to technology. When we use drama in academic essays, it will not win you points. So try to keep things strictly true and accurate. So to conclude, comma, I firmly agree that conversation between family members is lowering due to outside influences such as work commitments and technology. You could say dependency on technology, but technology dependency is not really quite functional. I would say dependency on technology. But dependency is a good word. In the near future, in our near future implies that there are several different near futures. So in the near future, there's only one future. These issues may worsen because of aggressive competition between companies as well as the IT revolution. Cool. So the thing I would suggest here is to expand your arguments fully. Make sure in every paragraph that you consider what, why, how, and what does it all mean. That you explain your points fully, and you really do consider every angle. But for your first essays, these are brilliant. I'm very impressed. I think you are a little under the word count. So when in these task 2 essays, they ask you to write at least 250 words. So let's just make sure we stick to that in the future. So this one actually looks slightly longer. I know you've double spaced it, but the paragraphs actually look a little longer as well. But I like the way you've opened this. That reading skills are indispensable is undeniable. That's good. I love it. However, in my opinion, children must practice enjoyable activities to enhance their imagination and creativity. This essay will examine the benefits of let's say the benefits of engaging pastimes, maybe. There's lots of words we can use to talk about fun activities. If an activity is fun, it's engaging, it's exciting, it's enjoyable. There's lots of words. But otherwise, that's really good. Reading has numerous benefits. Nevertheless, playing on an L there. Playing on electronic games consoles or gaming consoles. I suppose that's still correct. Can develop skills such as grinding. Now, I don't know what that is. Nope, I can't place that. That's not a skill. Unless you're talking about woodwork or metalwork. But that's not, I can't get that, so you're going to have to explain that, maybe. This sort of skill is gained through repeating the same game and trying to update their way of playing to increase it. So, okay, so what you're talking about there is repetition. We're talking about how repetition over time increases efficiency, that skills grow through repetition, learning takes place with repetition, and repetition will increase the efficiency of their game. For example, League of Legends players, so plural, League of Legends players, increase efficiency by repeating the same stage in less time. This needs to be explained further. I don't quite understand what it means. I know League of Legends, but is this a part of the game, or is this just something that you've observed? This needs to be expanded a little bit. Therefore, the advantages of playing with games give an opportunity to give to a child. That one is so let's try to rethink these sentences. I would just say, therefore, video games, for instance, we could say video games present children with further opportunities to progress, or to progress skills other than reading. Video games present children with opportunities to progress skills other than just reading, or other than reading alone. That would be cool. So secondly, practicing sports help children not only to get fit, but also to avoid obesity. Prepositions and everything. Pronouns. These little small words, prepositions, pronouns, and articles, they might seem like tiny, insignificant words, but they can cause quite some difficulty for the reader if they aren't correct, because they explain the fundamental relationships between the different things that you're talking about. So it's very important that we explain our relationships well. Whether the ball is on the cat, in the cat, or from the cat is very important. Such activities like walking in the park, playing soccer. So this is an interesting point that I've come across several times here. Whenever we use a verb that talks about an active, when we want to imagine the scene, say, of somebody doing something, we want to paint the picture of the person actually doing it, we use what's called either the present continuous tense. So playing soccer, but it's present continuous when we say I am playing soccer or he is playing soccer. It's the gerund we use in this situation. So we want to talk about it actively. So we say walking in a park, playing soccer, and swimming. Help them to develop and strengthen their muscles. Activities, active things, walking, playing, swimming. For instance, a recent study by Harvard showed that children who practice sports have 50% less chance of becoming obese by the age of 20. So I would say, less chance of becoming obese by the age of 20. By means up to or before. So by the age of 20, up to or before the age of 20. Consequently, one of my favourite words, they might keep this good habit, maintain this good habit. They may maintain or they might maintain this good habit, and in the near future, definite article, not indefinite, persuade their own children to practice sports and avoid let's say weight-related issues, because we've used obesity before, and repetition is quite, we want to avoid repetition. So instead of saying obesity again, let's say weight-related issues. So to conclude, from the examples and arguments given in this essay, I firmly agree that children need to practice enjoyable activities. I would say, instead of only reading books. In the future, you see, there you go, definite article, correct. In the future, these kids, or the children, will not only become adults, but also parents. So, will not only become adults, but also parents. I would then put a comma there. Or, actually, in the future, these kids will become not only adults, or will not only become adults, So here I would actually say, I would go back a bit, I'd say, in the future, these kids will themselves become parents and will need to teach their own children, yes, to practice, I'd say, a variety of enjoyable activities to avoid health problems. Yeah, because we want to say that it's in order to avoid health problems. So we say to avoid health problems. Cool. But other than that, well done. Good progress, man. Well, what I need you to do now is compile a list of errors. So first of all, the small things like articles, prepositions, and pronouns, but they will improve over time. But take the vocabulary suggestions and make notes of them. And any other suggestions that you thought were things like specificity, being specific, expanding fully your arguments. Send us in your next email both essays, your personalised error list, these essays corrected, and the new essays, and we'll get those over to you as soon as possible. Well done once again. I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheers, man.